this week's episode of the podcast. John and I just watched The Empire Strikes Back. This year marks the 40th year anniversary of when the movie was released. We just watched the movie. It's a poster, Empire Strikes Back. So I just thought it would be good to actually talk about it. Such a iconic movie, a lot of iconic moments, part of a franchise that's obviously still managed to stay relevant even to these days. Joe, just quickly, Empire Strikes Back, what did you think of it? We just watched it just recently.
Yeah, it was good seeing it again because hadn't seen it for maybe, I think, 4 or 5 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I lose track of what scenes are in which movies sometimes, so it's good seeing it all back together again. Yeah, still as good as I saw it last time.
Yeah. Do you remember when you first saw it? Like, obviously, we couldn't have seen it when we were young, when it was released, because, the movie's older than us. But what do you remember? For me, I was coming off a high of watching A New Hope, and then obviously we didn't have to wait. We can watch it like almost straight away. So what was it like for you when you were young, The Empire Strikes Back?
Can't remember seeing it for the first time. It felt like a movie I've already seen bits of it, like growing up seeing it. I think I was about 10 or so when I really started getting into it, and I don't think until like I was maybe 15 or 16 that I then started appreciating it for what it was. You know? Yeah. But I don't really have a memory of just like seeing it for the first time, the whole movie.
Would you say it's your favourite?
Yeah.
Of the trilogy or of all the Star Wars?
Yeah, easily my favourite of all of them.
Yeah. See, for me, we were watching it, and I said I was going to say this when we talked about it here, but for me, when I was young, I was coming off this high of, which was A New Hope, right? My young mind was mesmerised. I was like, I couldn't believe what I had seen. The hero Luke Skywalker saving the day, finishing with the good guys winning, and so I was really like happy, and I was like, I can't wait to see us win more in the second one. But when I was young watching it, The Empire Strikes Back wasn't actually I didn't really like it when I was young, because the movie itself isn't exactly like, the bad guys are probably on the back foot throughout the whole movie, so I'm watching this as a youngster, waiting for like Luke Skywalker to save the day. Yeah,
the good guys on the back foot, you mean?
Yeah.
These are the bad guys, yeah.
Yeah. Good guys are on the back foot.
Yeah.
And
it ends with the good guys worse off.
And so my young mind watching this, I didn't like that, and that's why I was probably part of the minority when I was younger. Was I actually liked Return of the Jedi more, because it went back to the good guys winning, which I was a lot happier about. So The Empire Strikes Back itself was, when I was young, I didn't really like it, but now as I'm older, I obviously have a better appreciation for it, and it's definitely my second favourite outside of A New Hope.
That's a good point, how it's kind of like a high victory, Death Star, to lows, and then bring your happiness levels back up again, the third one.
They did a good job of that. But like the high, like, you just think that that's day one and then that's it. But then it starts, the opening text crawl says that, like, it's basically saying the Empire's in a stronger position, and it's like, what the heck's happened here? So and you see it throughout the beginning. They're sort of running away. They're on Hoth, escaping, and it just continues on throughout the whole movie. Them just being playing catch up, and the Empire being on the front foot the whole movie.
Just thinking the titles are pretty well titled. It sums it up, New Hope.
Empire
then Strikes Back. And then the Return of the
Jedi. But as you watch these movies, even though this movie was released 1980. Still an amazing movie visually, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, nothing wrong at all. It looks good. The
Yeah.
story's still good. Often the movies like 40 years ago, they'd have maybe like phrases that you don't use anymore
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like, I don't know what kind of words I'm trying to think of, but dude, or I don't know. I guess because it's based in space and it's not really, it's done on purpose, not a particular time.
Yeah.
But nothing's really dated.
No. And that's what I mean. Like, we can watch it today in 2020, and I don't feel like I'm watching a movie from 1980.
No. I think I remember watching it like 10, 15 years ago thinking it had dated. And I think 'cause I was really like critical of things like the computer screens having like that old fashioned grid and stuff.
Yeah.
But now I watch it again now and I just like it for it.
Yeah, because it's incredible to think what George Lucas was able to do back then. And he even then had the vision for the future, knowing that the technology used for filming was going to get better. That's why he had those extra releases, later on where they added in, which, doesn't look too good. Probably brings the movies down, some of the new stuff that he tried to bring in. But just creating this real world, like what were you talking about towards the end of the movie? Like the whole scene, the setup of Luke versus Darth Vader, you're sort of looking at the whole scene, the scenery.
I was talking about the set of it. Yeah. Just looked amazing.
Yeah.
The lighting, the smoke, just changed the mood of the whole movie when all of a sudden it was one-on-one. They met each other for the first time. It created the best scene or sequence of scenes in the whole franchise for me, easily, which made it the best movie for me.
Yeah.
And still kind of goosebump type dialogue and setting.
Yeah. Even though like we already know what's going to happen, there's still that feeling, like as you said, goosebump moment. The lines that they use, we've heard them time and time again, but just even Darth Vader saying like, "I'm your father," and then the reaction from Luke, like it's still an awesome scene that you probably never really are going to get sick of seeing.
No. Yeah. Back to George Lucas doing the special effects for it and updating it.
Yeah.
That was like ironically dated the film. So,
Yeah.
Because the CG now is better. CG today is going to look poor 40 years time. So anything in the old, I'm talking about. If you do like a movie now.
Yes.
Any top Marvel film or whatever.
Yeah, it's going to look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dated, but the things in Empire Strike Back, like Yoda, we talked about the puppetry and the way he looked, the skin, the hair.
Yeah.
He looked like a real creature.
Yeah, and you just believed that. Like, the thing with the movie was that you just believed everything was real. There was not really too many points where you're like, oh yeah, well, maybe only Luke falling down the towards the end there, but that's probably one of the only scenes where it obviously looks pretty bad. But
no, I've seen the making of like the miniatures in Hoth and everything, and the AT-ATs falling and miniatures and stuff.
Yeah.
Even when I watch the movie, I still can't see the miniatures.
Yeah.
For what they are, I just see them as big
robots. Going through the snow.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did such a great job of just making us believe everything was real, and I guess that's one of the problems that the prequels had was that he did create this world where we thought everything was real, to the prequel trilogy where everything wasn't real.
Yeah. I was thinking about Yoda doing those flips and everything like that in the prequels during watching this one, and how when I watched it when I was younger, I probably thought it was cool. Yeah. But now when I watch it, it's kind of a bit lame.
Yeah, because I think I said this to you before, I haven't really seen Clone Wars as many times, or even the whole way through, but I have seen the bit of Yoda, because I remember when it first came out, people were actually saying, oh yeah, you get to see Yoda fight, right? And it was supposed to be some amazing thing, but if you watch it now, it's terrible.
Yeah. Didn't really make sense either.
No.
So it looked bad, but also was not really good. Why is he like with a walking stick with the other side? And they can do that? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and that's it's just the sort of like you probably never needed to see Yoda fight. I mean, I think his character was strong enough to not fight and just talk and just use the Force whenever he did.
I think they like to do that in every movie. Like,
What's that?
the old wise one having a fight scene in it.
Yeah.
Because we talked about Kung Fu Panda and he had a fight scene.
Yes.
Uruguay or whatever.
Yeah.
And
With he ends up fighting Tai Long.
yeah, I'm sure every kind of movie where there's like an older, wiser person, they can't help but show it.
Are there any bits of the movie that you sort of are still, nitpicky about as you keep watching it?
We talked about, from the beginning of the film, the jump between New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, between Han Solo and Leia.
Yeah.
They ended the first movie like didn't have that many scenes together. We obviously had a bit of banter between each other, but then went from that to obviously something had happened.
Yeah, because they're sort of looking at each other.
Yeah,
and
he's full on like saying, "I basically know you like me," and all sort of stuff, which is okay. I get that things have happened in between, and we can fill in the blanks ourselves. But it seemed like a big jump.
Yeah, no, it did. Yeah, and even watching it, like I watched it a little bit before. We just watched it now, and that actually stood out to me a little bit in the beginning. Was the fact that all of a sudden they seem to be acting with this chemistry of having something's already happened, but we didn't actually know what was happening there.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what else they could have done anyway, because sometimes you'd have to spell everything out for us. It's better to have
I guess
that.
I guess they can always give us another movie now, just of the time between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, they'll find a way.
Yeah,
they'll probably CG Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher.
Any other critiques?
I don't know. I can't really think of any can't think of too many just off the top of my head. Like while I'm watching, nothing that makes sort of stands out that makes you think, oh, they should have done this or whatever.
The thing I asked you while we were watching it was in Cloud City.
Yeah.
Where Darth Vader was hidden the whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't see the point of that, and then revealed himself at the dinner table that he prepared for them.
Yeah.
I didn't get why he didn't just capture them when they got off the Millennium Falcon.
He should have been the first one they should have seen.
Yeah, or get them clear of the Millennium Falcon, because they proved quite good when they're in the ship of escaping.
Yeah.
Get them off, walk them inside, and just capture them.
Mm-hmm.
Then I didn't see any other need to drag it out.
Yeah, but they needed the movie to happen. But another, maybe not nitpicky, but it's funny in the Empire. Everyone knows how strong Darth Vader is and this immense power that he has, but yet people still question him if he says hey, I want you to do this, and people are willing to say I don't think we should do that. It's mate, is that really what you should be saying?
Yeah, that's right. So it's a bit silly of them, but also, and we had that in the first one as well, New Hope. We already had them questioning him and them choking him, so it's going to the same barrel again anyway. So word should have gotten out to the other staff, don't do this because you get choked.
Yeah.
And kind of, I guess, from the writing perspective, it's going to the same thing once again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because that's something that bothered me from the New Hope, was that guy saying no one believes in your
the
religion.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, no, I'm pretty sure you all should, because Darth Vader's basically running the show, him and Palpatine, who are the Force, the dark side of the Force.
No, I wouldn't say anything myself.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, we're just saying we don't even say anything to our bosses now.
No.
And they've got no power,
they hardly ever choke me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, another thing that was a bit annoying was Temuera Morrison's voice dubbed over what's his name, Boba Fett's voice. So I think maybe for people who aren't familiar with the actor, it's probably not that much of a nitpicky thing, right?
No, yeah.
But if you know the actor and sort of some of the roles and what he's about, it can maybe take you out of the movie a little bit. I don't know if it did that for you or not, but for me certainly it did momentarily.
Yeah. Yeah, it did to me. I think it's not needed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because now I'm thinking, what was his voice like originally? It was
Yeah.
muffled.
I'm not sure. You're not sure.
Hmm.
That's the thing. I think it's hard to find access to these original cuts now.
You get, yeah, because you could probably find them on YouTube, possibly.
Yeah, I think people would have like put edits together and cut out the new stuff, and there must be some stuff out there, but I haven't seen it for a long, long time.
Or someone's got old VHSs
Yeah, there must be
of
heaps
the
out
original
there.
stuff because the first DVD releases were the remastered versions, like with all the new CGI
Okay.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure. But I remember when this was back in the day when a movie would come on TV, it would get advertised that this movie's going to come on, this blockbuster. And I think it was when Star Wars came out, they had like maybe 2 to 3 week like build up, like on May 30th, it's going to be coming on Channel 2,
Yeah.
right? So you had like a good few weeks to get ready, to get the VCR ready
Yeah.
to record it. And because I remember when we were young, like that's how I was able to watch them over and over again, was recording them straight from TV.
Used to pause the ads.
Yeah,
Stop
yeah.
recording.
Stop recording when the
Yeah.
ads were on.
Yeah.
But the problem was you had to remember to push record
Yeah.
again as soon as the movie came on.
Yeah.
I mean, this was like real problems that we were facing.
You're doing editing, like live editing somehow.
Yeah, live editing somewhere. Like before we had like laptops and can go back and all that kind of stuff. Like the original editors we were. But
It's funny that we're going back to our memory of it, but we're not even watching it originally. It was still another 20 years before that it came out, if you know what I mean. Or
yeah.
do you know what I mean? The movie's older than yourself,
Yeah.
and you're appreciating it when you're like 12 or 13. At that stage, the movie was already like
that was
more than 10 years old.
Yeah.
We'll say 1980. So
1980, yeah. So I would have like
Yeah,
maybe seen it
84,
like
yeah.
when I was 10. So yeah, maybe 94. At this stage, the movie's like 14 years old, and it's just still unbelievable, still amazing that they were able to do what they did with the Empire.
a lot of people I meet now,
Yeah.
like they were born after the prequels came out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like these
yeah.
16, 17-year-olds. You know, it's quite funny how fast time goes even with those.
I think we're it's maybe unfortunate for us, right, that we did watch Star Wars with the original trilogy, right, and that's why we're so critical of the prequels and even the new trilogy. Whereas I feel as though some of the newer Star Wars fans, like they're going to be watching Star Wars from episode 1, and they'll watch it in order of how. Whereas when we watched it, we watched 4, 5, and 6.
So you're
And
saying we're
then 1, 2, and
fortunate or
3.
unfortunate? What do you?
No, unfortunate in the sense that like we're always going to compare it. Any other Star Wars property after the original trilogy, we're always going to compare it to the original trilogy. Whereas the new people coming through are luckier in the sense that they're just going to watch it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they can just make their judgment based on what they actually like instead of having to compare. In fact, they'll probably watch the original trilogy and be like, "What the heck's this stuff?" You know?
Yeah, I mean they may be disadvantaged because it might have like diluted it for them more and put them off the franchise and not be able to get sucked into the world as much.
Well, it was when you think about even like we're talking about like when we first watched it, like when we were 10, like 94. But even then, the amount of like forced marketing from any property, it's back then it's not as bad as what it is today. Like Star Wars is just like everywhere. There's so much Star Wars. Whereas when we were young, we weren't. It wasn't in our face as much as what it is for some of the people now, and maybe people now like, nah, I've seen it. Like it's just too much. we were lucky it was like
Yeah.
little, so that's we were always hanging on for whatever came next.
Do you think it's going to be hard to get excited for a future Star Wars movie? For you?
Yeah,
Same.
yeah.
Because we did for like the last 3 that came out, but now that they're done, I can't really see myself getting really hyped for any more future content.
I mean, I said this to you before, where I quite liked The Force Awakens.
But like, what would it take to get you excited for like a new movie?
Look,
What's plot, storyline, characters? What?
it would. I'll be honest. If it's not going to be Skywalker related,
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to be interested, because Star Wars for me is Skywalker, you know, and if it's just going to be something else, then I'm probably not going to be that interested in
Yeah.
it.
And now the original cast, you can't bring them back at all.
No.
It's all done. It might be quite hard to get me interested as well.
Yeah. And even with the original cast, even then it was a little bit like, it was a bit hard to watch the newer trilogy, because the original cast they weren't what sort of I remembered them to be from the obviously they got older, doesn't help, but even then I never felt like they were,
Especially Leia for me.
it's just
Obviously, she looks different, but acts different, and her powers are different, and everything about her,
and she just sounded just didn't sound like Leia either.
Yeah.
I know they had we knew who she was, and they were sort of just had her basically doing the same thing that she was doing, but even then it didn't feel like the same. Han Solo a little bit, but even then it was still when you hear stories about Harrison Ford not really liking,
It put me off it.
knowing all that stuff.
Yeah.
I
don't like when actors start speaking out and kind of seem unappreciative if they're not keen for it. And
and that,
like Daniel Craig with James Bond, it's the same thing for me. You know how he's been quite vocal about not wanting to do it.
Yep.
It's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's you're right, and that can make you then watch it, and then that's why a lot of people watched the Force Awakens and felt like Harrison Ford was just like phoning it in, because you have that stuff in your mind, and it sort of at times can come across. But I thought he did okay.
Yeah, I don't like watching too much press conferences and that around, or like the press junkets, whatever they call it, because it takes me out of the characters. You see the actors talking about the character and the acting process.
Well, they did that with
Kylo Ren, you gonna say?
Kylo Ren,
yeah, and that's what I was gonna lead to.
Like, oh man,
that was all the skits of Kylo Ren, like undercover boss,
and
it was things like that. That's dumb.
That was dumb. That was so.
Firstly, I didn't even think it was funny. I didn't like it anyway,
no.
And then it's just detracts from the character.
Yeah,
You need to be like mysterious and dark, and it may be a little bit immature of us to kind of try to convince ourselves it's not a movie, but that's what those movies are. They're meant to take you away from reality, and that stuffed that up.
But the funny thing, I can actually relate it to wrestling, right? Whereas once upon a time you believed the characters were the characters, but now these days they do so much like social media, advertising for companies where they're not playing that role that they are in the ring,
and they act the movies and that.
and they act the movies. So like you then don't really believe what you're seeing in the ring is you just see it as another wrestler now. Whereas back in the day you believed this character was that character in the ring, outside the ring, everywhere. Like went home and he was that character. And the same thing with these.
Is that a whole Disney World thing that's quite famous with the characters? You know, when you go to Disney World and there's like legendary rules of the characters can't take their like helmets off, or they can't walk to certain areas with their costumes and that to stay in characters, because then it's like it ruins the illusion.
And the kids would.
Yeah, it'd be like seeing like Mickey Mouse with his head off and having a smoke somewhere, and the kid watching that. Yeah. Santa can't just like have a break in the mall and go to McDonald's and sit down and eat his burger.
Yeah.
In his costume still. Yeah. Kylo Ren can't do undercover boss.
Yeah. Silly. But yeah, I mean, I guess it is a different world in terms of
Did you watch Thor and Hulk do some kind of like activities on their time off while they weren't around during one of the movies? I never saw it. I heard it was okay.
It was quite. It was actually funny.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was. I don't know. It was done differently. I don't want to sound like I'm someone who's saying one thing and then all of a sudden like giving a pass to something else. But that was maybe a little bit. No, it wasn't different. It was like exactly the same. But
it's like, if it's funny, it's funny, and it's worth it maybe. But
it was done right, and it came off right. And
yeah.
It was like, because the talk was like, oh, how come Thor and Hulk weren't in Civil War? You know,
yes,
and so I guess that was like,
especially with Kylo, I found the actor quite. He was unknown to me. Like I know him, but I haven't seen him in any movies, and he was Kylo Ren. He wasn't anyone else in my mind. Where potentially like Chris Hemsworth and that, him from other movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Though I can't name one except for Extraction now.
Men in Black 2. Oh, Men in Black 3.
What was after that?
Men in Black 4.
4, yeah. I like 3, but I haven't seen 4. Yeah, that's right.
He's also in what's the car one?
Talk?
Not Talk.
I've got it
it's
right
here. Yeah.
This one, yeah.
Rush. Yeah.
You saw that?
No.
That's good.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't like cars or racing or anything.
Yeah.
And it got me into it, yeah.
I don't like cars, so I probably won't watch it. But yeah, so that's what I mean. It's just different how we see the characters. Like they bring the characters out for advertising now for the movie, and you just see so much of them. Whereas when we were young, like there was no social media, we didn't watch as much TV, so we never saw too much of them.
Yeah.
I guess the reporting of it wasn't as big as what it is today.
Yeah. That's mainly like Star Wars with the merchandise was huge always, so it's just like some of the toys and things like that.
Which was sort of fine, you sort of expected that from a lot of your like those kind of properties where they'd have the toys that they'd come out, but that was probably it in terms of
I mean this is cliche stuff I guess, but like back then they kept it secret with Darth Vader being Luke's father, but now you couldn't do that. You
probably see that in the trailer.
Yeah. Well, actually, saying that though, when Han died, I feel like everyone kind of had this like respect and didn't reveal it in YouTube comments and on the internet. Unless you went looking for it, I don't think you would necessarily know that he died. Not that it's the same scale as what happened in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. But was his death even like this is the thing, like, because they were old actors, right? So if it was going to be a death of an older actor from the original, then it's like, oh, okay, well, they're the older actors, so
it would have been bigger if Rey died or something.
If Rey died, or probably...
Which, yeah, we don't have to get into that, but what's his name? Finn didn't die.
Oh, and The Last Jedi. I don't know why you were wearing that shirt, by the way. Talking about Empire Strikes Back, matey, I'll just wear The Last Jedi. Worst Star Wars movie ever. Next to the best Star Wars movie ever. But so that's what, like, even, I think I remember being in the cinema then, and it's not like people were like, oh, it was just like, okay, like people just understood the death, but that wasn't leaked, so there was a pretty good job of keeping that one secret. Yeah,
I don't ever remember the moment I found that out, like that scene, seeing that scene for the first time. I've always kind of known that Darth was Luke's father. But I do remember when I found out Leia was the sister and the shock.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
Okay.
And then I remember seeing that.
I just remember being confused, right? Because it goes back to, being the good guys winning, right? And then all of a sudden my good guys are losing heaps in the second one. And then all of a sudden my hero, that's his dad, who's the bad guy. And so I that was maybe one of the other reasons why I didn't like the movie when I was younger because it just added to just the badness that was happening to the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. Maybe I was too young. Maybe if I was someone who went to watch it a lot older at the cinema back in the day, I wonder what their shock would have been like. What the? I don't know. I haven't actually asked anybody that.
Yeah. Just thinking about Darth Vader, he's like one of my most favourite, most loved villains of all time. But yet you don't root for him to win as a bad guy. Like sometimes there's some bad guys who you like and want them to succeed.
I think actually, sorry, talking about The Empire Strikes Back, like that really just shows, like they really built on the Darth Vader character from A New Hope to Empire Strikes Back, where he is just walking around giving orders, and then you see the people, all the workers sort of turn their head if something bad's happened, and some of his lower subordinates who know they've done something wrong, they know that they're in the shit, and then it's like, oh, they know they're probably going to die. But yeah, just I felt as though they just did a really good job of just really building him up as like this super villain, like this really bad guy, super powerful. You're probably gonna have to be really strong to beat him. I thought it did a really good job of that. Great job they did. Anything else?
No, just Hoth is one of my favourite battles in all of the Star Wars as well. So that was such a good opening half an hour, 20 minutes or whatever.
See, and that this like now I appreciate it more.
Yeah.
But once again, when I was young, because the last thing I remember, Luke was in an X-wing, like blowing up the Death Star, and so I got excited thinking, oh cool, Luke's in something, he's just gonna take them all down, right? But wasn't the case, and but watching it now, it's like, it's pretty cool. You talk about the miniatures, getting them to look as real life as possible. It's awesome, the scene in the beginning. But that's your favourite scene in the movie, or
No, favourite like battle, like with more than two people, I guess. But no, the ending's the best.
Yeah.
Best part, when Luke meets Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's really good. And even, as we said, I think we were talking about when we were watching it, they do a really good job of finishing off the movie, leading into the next one. And they did a really good job here, where it was like, okay, the good guys are like effed. No good now, but then it's like, okay, what's going to happen in the next one? So I guess it kept you interested, at least in the next one. So anything else? Nothing else?
No.
I guess just finish it off by saying Empire Strikes Back, still a pretty good movie 40 years on. I think it'll still be a good movie 50 years on. We'll have to do this again in another 50 years time. Hopefully we're still here. Touch wood. Anyway, thank you for coming back on.
No worries. Cheers.
Hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please share, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button. I've got a whole heap of videos on the channel where I've chatted to a lot of great people. So yeah, if you could, that'll be great. And so I hope to catch you on the next episode.